Hello and welcome to Twilight Sessions. My name is Prophet and today I have a message for you. Today's message is for day 3 of the Lionsgate portal. It is currently July 31st, 2025, but wherever you happen to be in time and space, if this video found you, you are likely going through this energetic portal wherever you happen to be. And so this message is for you right now at this time in your journey. On this channel, we are blessed to have Archangel Michael and Jesus as our protectors and guides. So if those energies are resonating with you right now, definitely know that you are welcome here. And if these energies are new to you, they might be coming into your life for a reason right now. So stick around and see if anything resonates, and you might have made a new friend. So today, the point of today's reading is to connect with the energy of the Lionsgate portal on day 3, since it is a 10 to 12 day portal that we walk through. So we're connecting in with the July 31st energy. And the intention is so that you can start to focus your own intentions and energy on connecting with whatever this theme happens to be. So with that, let's just take a second to ground in. You can close your eyes or soften your gaze and just let yourself become present with this moment and consciously open your heart and your mind to whatever messages need to be received by you right now. And then also allow whatever isn't resonating to just flow by you, knowing that somebody else will make use of that message. And then let's go ahead and seal this with a nice deep breath together. Take a deep breath in. And let it go. Beautiful. So the first card for this reading is the Eight of Cups. And in this card, we are walking along a path. We are finding meaning and purpose, even if the way doesn't quite yet feel clear. There is a feeling of meaning in this card, which is pointing to the spiritual ascension that we are experiencing right now during this Lionsgate portal. The Four of Pentacles is coming up after this card, which is a reminder to look at all of the places in your life where you are staying stuck in your comfort zone. And as we know, comfort is not bad. There is nothing wrong with being in your comfort zone, but this is a call to become mindful of where in your life you might be limiting yourself by not stepping outside of your comfort zone. Let's see. These two cards are talking about taking the path of your heart and of your intuition, even when it takes you into places that are a little bit outside of your comfort zone, or maybe a lot outside your comfort zone. The Hierophant is coming out, and this is talking about there's a teacher, and the teacher could just be your limiting beliefs or the stuckness in the comfort zone. So this doesn't have to be an actual teacher in the physical or even in the spiritual realm. This is more of like a metaphysical or like a symbolic teacher. So with this card, we're talking about finding the path that is right for you without dogma. So this card is talking about finding connection, finding community. This card usually has kind of connotations that are related to religious institutions or like schools or kind of like cohesive groups, but there is almost like a dogmatic need to fit in, like a code that you need in order to fit in. But in the context of this reading and in my own kind of philosophical view, this card is a reminder to look out for dogma and avoid falling into dogma. And the Four of Pentacles is kind of talking about that dogma of like comfort zone stuckness. So as you're going through this journey, look for the lessons that are pointing you to your own kind of grander purpose. The Seven of Cups is coming up next, and this card is kind of talking about the plethora of options available to you right now, and these options might actually feel overwhelming, or like there in this card there is also a sense of stuckness, of like not knowing which to choose, not being sure which options are genuine or which are kind of fake or like empty promises. And so the call here is to use your judgment and to use your heart to find the options and the beliefs that are right for you at this time. The Elder of Wands is coming out, and this card it seems to be a pretty auspicious card. this, this energy is the grown-up version of the Wands energy. This is the King energy. And within that, there is a mastery of the element of fire. So this would be understanding how to harness and cultivate your own creative fire. Rather than the page energy, which is like the spark of creativity, and the knight, which is kind of like the exuberant expression of that energy. This is a mature, controlled, yet powerful expression of the One's energy. And so this is really pointing to you becoming the fullest version of yourself and like shining your light into the world as like honestly as you can. So that's what the Eight of Cups, that's what that journey is like finding your purpose and meaning, even though right now you might feel like you're in the dark and you might feel like you're in the middle of like this Lionsgate portal, you're in the middle of like this tunnel that we're going through, and you're not quite sure where you're going, like what's the destination, like why are we going through this? And the answer is we are ascending, and every moment is an opportunity to ascend right now, wherever you are. This is an especially potent time to ascend. So the opportunity to kind of step into your Elder of Wands self is present very strongly right now. So the only thing to do is to step into that power. And how do you do that? You get out of your comfort zone. The reason that you are not currently standing in your Elder of One's energy is because you don't feel safe to blossom in that way. You don't yet feel ready to fully bloom in that sense of like full expression of yourself. And something that I'm being guided to say right now is that you might have like a fear of being seen for who you really are, or you don't want to be that vulnerable, because when you just let yourself express yourself the most fully without worrying about how people perceive you, then if they perceive you kind of negatively or not in a way that you were intending, it can feel really hurtful and really personal. Like, oh, they don't like me. Because it is the true, honest version of you. Whereas if you're showing a version of yourself that's a little bit watered down, a little bit more conforming to those around you, if they don't like you, you're okay with that because it's not really who you are anyway. And so it hurts a little bit less to be, like rejected feels like a strong word, but again, we're coming back to that Hierophant energy of like being in a dogmatic place of rigid beliefs. And the energy that you are wanting to step into, that God is calling you to step into, is above the dogma. It is above the social norms, because the world doesn't need you to have, to look like everybody else. The world needs you to be you, because you are created with special gifts and talents and abilities and perspectives and a heart and a soul that only you have. And so only you can bring your light into the world. And you don't do that by mimicking others around you. You don't do that by following dogma without thinking about why. Yeah, nice. I'm looking at these cards right now, and it's really interesting because they're all very blue. There's a lot of blue energy happening. Here, let me pick them up really quick. Yeah, like a lot of blue and gray. Yeah, so we've got the Eight of Cups and then the Four and then the Hierophant, 7. So like they're all just very dark gray. So as you're going through this, but you'll notice that the last card, which is the King, has like fireworks. So you might be feeling like you're in the dark right now, right? We're in the tunnel, and sometimes when you get into the tunnel, you can't see the end, and you can't see the beginning. You can't see the beginning, you can't see the end, and so it just feels like you're in the dark. Two things. The Hierophant has the light coming through, so you are not truly in the dark, you only seem to be in the dark. And then the Elder of Wands has all these beautiful fireworks going on, and this is telling me that you are about to like explode into like a shower of light. So even though it might feel dark right now, that is when the light can shine the brightest, is when it is the darkest. I always feel like I'm in a comic book when I say things like that, where I'm like, the light is brightest in the dark, or something like that. The Nine of Wands popped out a few minutes ago, and this is talking about protection and stamina. So you are being protected right now. So you might feel like you're in the dark, but you are not truly alone. And in the darkness, it can be hard to see those who love you. It can be hard to realize that you're not alone, because in the darkness, all you see is the darkness. But in the darkness, there are loved ones helping you, and they might be physical, material world loved ones, or they might be spiritual loved ones. But either way, or both, you are being protected and guided. So the message here is to kind of like rest assured that while you're walking through this darkness, trying to find your path, trying to find your how you like to express yourself in the world, as you experiment, as you try, the Nine of Wands is saying that you will be protected. So no harm can come from you expressing yourself. There is a call to experiment. It's funny, the Three of Swords has popped up a couple of times now. I didn't want to talk about it the first time, but it came up again, so now it makes me think that it wants to be said. So we've got the Three of Swords, which is our famous heartbreak card, one of the hardest cards in the tarot. But then there's the Two of Swords as well, which is simply pointing to a decision. And this is the second time in our Lionsgate reading, or actually I would even say that in the past two readings, so this will be the third reading, there have been a duality. There is a before and an after. There is a choice to be made here. And so this card is pointing to a choice that you have to make consciously. Rather than trying to balance two things, you have to choose one thing. And in like the traditional Rider-Waite deck, the image has a person with their eyes covered with a blindfold, and they have two swords kind of like at their neck. And this is talking about you're not able to see which choice is the right one. And in this card, in this image, you'll notice that there is some sunlight poking through where the swords are crossed. And this would be divine inspiration. So what I'm hearing is that you are being faced with a choice. And the choice might include a heartbreak. And the heartbreak could be as simple as having to leave your comfort zone. And whatever is in your comfort zone, that is the thing that's actually holding you back. And these will be your pet, like the things that you cite the most as your reasons for not moving forward with your life. Going back to the Hierophant energy, this would be like the dogmatic beliefs that you hold about the way life is, the way life should be, the way you are. And I'm thinking that not all of these beliefs that you have about yourself are true. They are shadow. They are smoke. They are illuminated in the moonlight, so they look to be real, but if you brought the sun in, you would see them for what they are, which is an illusion of smoke and shadows. So that's where the Three of Swords is coming in, is I'm feeling like it's not a heartbreak in terms of like losing somebody or losing anything. It's not like a tower moment. It's more the heartbreak over recognizing kind of where you've been wrong all this time, and then letting that stuff go. So you've got the choice. You can remain in the heartbreak and you can remain upset. You can stay in dogma always. It's always up to you. But the other choice would be to become very mindful of yourself, your beliefs, your surroundings, and to show up in the world as your most authentic self. So I would like to actually pull a couple of cards on how to show up as your most authentic self. So maybe some advice for that. So how can we show up as our highest selves at this time? Practical advice. There she is. Well, we got the Tower. Tower just popped out of its own free will. Okay. So again, we're being protected. So we're going to start with that. We've got the Nine of Wands out here protecting us. All right, so the Tower card is here, which is the destruction of how things used to be, or the destruction of how things are currently. Now, a couple of things. The world is coming up after that, so that's a good omen, right? All right, so with the Tower, you've got the ending of how things are currently, or how things were. You might have just been through a Tower moment right before Lionsgate, and so you're currently kind of looking at the destruction or the devastation left by the Tower moment, or there might be one coming, and again, this doesn't have to be physical. This can be purely internal, and in the context of this reading, I get the feeling that it is an internal destruction, disintegration of your beliefs and systems, right? We're talking about the Hierophant. We're talking about untangling those beliefs. We are talking about taking away the dogma so that you become the most authentic, full version of yourself. So in this context, the Tower isn't really a negative card. It is more an intense experience, but it doesn't have to be bad. And I've said this before about the Tower card, and I will say it again about the Tower card. What you don't see in the Tower card, in the image, is what happens after the lightning strikes, right? So the Tower is toppled. But then what happens after the Tower is toppled? You get to rebuild whatever you want in that space. So you might have been in a tower. You might have been, Rapunzel stuck up in this tower for the past, decade or months, weeks, years, whatever, however long you've been where you are. But you didn't necessarily put yourself there intentionally. You just woke up one day and found yourself there. And the waking up might have been the Tower to be like, wait, where am I? Like, who am I? What do I believe? And is this really who I am and what I believe? Or is this what I have been created into believing? And so the Tower is the destruction of that, is the recognition that the Tower is not you. You are not the Tower, and so you can leave at any time. And then once you recognize that you can leave, the option is stay or go. And once you realize that you have the power to stay or go, that can in itself can be devastating, because then you realize that you had the choice all along to stay or go, and you have been choosing to stay all this time, which obviously it's much more nuanced than that. It's not a personal failing or a indication of you as a person in any way. But with the Tower, you get to rebuild afterwards. And then when you rebuild, what do you want to put there? This is what the Eight of Cups is talking about. This is what the Elder of Wands is talking about, is finding your heart's mission, finding your soul's highest expression, like being the most honest. I keep thinking about art lately because I've been writing a lot of poetry and songs and things like that. And one thing that I love when I'm reading other people's poetry is like true honesty, right? I think kind of universally that's what makes art wonderful. Any form of art is the honesty of it. Whether it's beautiful or ugly, if it's honest, it's powerful. And so the Elder of Wands here is the most honest version of itself, of the Wands energy, of like, I am pure creative expression in this form, whatever this form is, which happens to be you and your spirit right now, and however you express that in the world. You might be a hairdresser, you might be a mechanic, whatever you do, whatever you love to do, right? And like when I say hairdresser, mechanic, like those things sound like jobs for the, economic gain. But like the thing that you love to do the most and how you see it is what makes you so special. So, like a poem can be life-changing to some people because of the honesty. And if you had tried to water it down to make, this poem more socially acceptable or like, oh, thank you, Wednesday, socially acceptable or like less brutally honest because it feels too vulnerable, then the poem wouldn't have come out the same. So that's what we're talking about here. Oh, we've got the strength card coming out too. Like, so strength has popped out a couple of times as well. So we've got strength. So wherever you are, the tower is pointing to an upheaval of something, a destruction of something. But strength is telling me that you have the ability to get through whatever it is. And again, you've got the Nine of Wands protecting you. So there is no aloneness here. There is no fending for yourself in the wild. When the tower comes down, you are not left alone in the cold. You've got the strength to be strong. You've got the strength to rebuild. And then the Four of Swords is coming out as well, which is talking about rest. So as we're going through this Lionsgate portal and recognizing the areas where you might be living in an old paradigm, living by old dogma that no longer serves you or that never did serve you, but you were fed it as a person growing up in your family or society. Those things are coming away, and you are going to be able to express yourself in the highest way. And this is what I believe we are being guided to right now through this Lionsgate portal. And how we do that is going to be different for everybody. So rest is an important aspect of this as well, and giving yourself time to rest, giving yourself time to, you can even grieve, right? There might be an element of grieving. We've got the resident witch cat here. We've got Butch coming in. Did you want to say hi, Butch? No, she does not want to say hi. She would like to just step all over everything and walk away. Typical kitten. All right, so that's your reading for today. It went on a little longer than I was expecting. Sorry about that. Got a little rambly. But I had one more thing I wanted to do before I send you on your way. And you are welcome to leave at any point, but we were just going to do a saging. I was going to do a little aura saging for you because we are at the end of July, and so I thought it would be fun to kind of release all of July's energies so that you can walk into August clean and fresh and ready to continue your Lionsgate journey. So if that's feeling good to you today, stick around. If not, I'll catch you tomorrow in the next video. But if you'd like to begin, you're welcome to just sit here, relax. You can close your eyes. You can watch if you'd like, it doesn't matter. But know that the smoke from the sage is catching all of the impurities, stuck, stagnant energy in your auric field, just taking them away, just lifting them up and out. That's how smoke works. Is it takes everything and it just carries it away for you, so you don't have to worry about it anymore. Just clearing all of the stuck, stagnant, negative energies that no longer serve you. And I'm just going down through each of your chakras. Not super deep, but we're getting the basics covered today. I am planning on doing a deep energy cleansing ritual for you soon, but this is just a nice kind of, we're brushing your teeth right now. We'll do a full cleaning later. All right, beautiful. Nice. Nice, yeah, that's great. It's clearing it all away. All right. Good. Let's breathe into that new created space in your aura. Yeah, that feels much better. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. I really hope you got a lot out of this video. This was a big reading. This is a really intense reading. But you are stepping into your Elder of Wands. You are becoming the master of your own inner fire. You are going to become a king of your domain. You are going to become a master of your craft. Whatever your craft happens to be, and that craft is just you being you. However you express that in the world. So thank you for being here. Thank you for expressing yourself in this world. And I am so excited to see the blossoming that is you as you bloom. Yes, I hope you have a wonderful rest of today. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for August 1st and day 4 of our Lionsgate Portal reading series. And until then, my friend, have a wonderful day. Blessed be, and may peace go with you. Bye.